Hi guys, welcome to OG Cars, and today you meet me in the 126 garage where Jurassic Panda has just taken me to with the wonky old garage door. We're going to be looking at Marmalade, the yellow 126 today. Admittedly, since it's been put in the garage after we bought it, I haven't really done anything with it other than just put loads of parts around it. Skoda favourite bits mostly, Punto wheels at the back, trailer at the back of course. I don't think you guys have seen the trailer yet. We'll do a proper video on that hopefully at some point in the summer when we can get it out properly, and a microwave and toaster of course, as you do. But yeah, we're going to have a quick look at this today and see what we can get done. First and foremost, I'd like to be able to move this car forward very slightly so I can get the engine lid open properly and have a quick look around. And also the 126 needs to come out soon for the garage door to be replaced, so because it's all wonky on that side and all broken, very hard to shut as well. So now that I've opened it, it's going to be exciting. But yeah, I need to put some air in these tyres. Hopefully they can take some air and hold some air, but we'll see very shortly. Annoyingly, I brought this inflator and not the plug-in one, so I'm going to be here for a while. 7 years later, the first tyre is pumped up. Annoyingly, if you touch this valve in any direction, it just starts losing air, so I've got it in the prime position to not lose any air right now, but I imagine next time we come to it, it'll still be flat. To be fair, these tyres are mega old and the inner tubes, well, I assume it has inner tubes anyway, they're going to be mega old too, so they need changing regardless, but obviously this is just to move it around. Time to do the other tyres now. Amazingly, we currently have air in all 4 tyres. Not sure how long that's going to last, but there we go. We're going to clear out what's in front of the car now. I've already moved the Skoda favourite headlights, some of which are for sale on eBay if anyone needs any, and then see if I can push this forward at all. Amazingly, she moved with no hassle at all. I just took the handbrake off, of which I probably should have left off anyway, as it was in here with flat tyres. But now I've managed to push her forward, no problem at all. We've got plenty of room to open up the engine bay and have a little look at what's going on. So it's a little bit dirty and dusty in here, but overall not too bad. I've just taken off the air filter housing, which is over here. I've got a spare air filter, so I'll pop a new one on. But in fairness, that one doesn't look too bad anyway. I've seen worse. The oil looks okay, but obviously it's old, so it will be changed. Although I will try and get the engine started first, I think, just to see if it all works. But before I do try the engine, I do obviously want to make sure it turns over. And to be fair, I would like to change on these, the spark plugs, the leads, and possibly the condenser, the rotor arm and the cap as well, just because they're easy and cheap to replace. And obviously we get a better chance of it starting then, hopefully. Obviously they're quite old parts anyway, so I can't remember how long this hasn't started for, a good few years anyway, but it was laid up in working condition. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it shouldn't, I can't really cross these fingers with a glove on, but hopefully it works. And shouldn't be too bad to get going. I will have to take this off, I reckon, and pour some petrol down there, because obviously it's not seen petrol for a while. It could do with a bit of petrol in the tank as well over there. I have got a little bit of petrol with me, but unfortunately I don't really have enough to want to fully, you know, I want to fill E5 in the tank to a good extent and put some petrol down the car, but obviously change those parts before I get it going. So this isn't going to be a will it start video, this is just a looking at what we need, but this is certainly a good step in the right direction for getting Project 126 on the go. Also, you can't see it too well, but this is a Michael Speeder exhaust, single tip one. Didn't want to go too over the top when I had my white 126, but obviously I've sold that now, and I have these mats from it as well, of which I'm going to use both of these on this car, I think. You can see the exhaust here is fine, but it is the original exhaust, and I would like to have that nice chrome tip on it personally. It does make it a little bit louder as well, I think, but the box is sort of similar to the one that's on there. It's not sort of meant to be too overbearing, so hopefully that'll be quite a nice sound to it when I get that on. I'll probably have to put some WD-40 on these so they don't explode and snap at the first go on the socket, but we'll get to that at another point. Obviously we want to see if it works with what it has at the moment. I've turned over the engine as well, and it turns over really nicely, and it feels like we've got a bit of compression on 2 cylinders as well, so that is always a bonus. Another thing I'd like to change is this fuel line here and this fuel filter. Obviously it's looking a bit old and mucky. We've got a correct fuel line here with a fuel clip, but here we've got 2 plastic cable ties, which is not ideal, and this one isn't even really done up, so we'll change on that. This clip's looking okay, although to be fair, if we're changing this line, we may as well do this one as well. It's a little bit tight against the old HT lead there as well, so maybe a good idea. Another thing to put on the list of things to do. So we know that we've got a few things to do under there before we can get it going, and we know that we want new tyres on here on the original wheels, and we know that we want to do the exhaust for fun at some point. Now on the inside we want to keep it mostly original, but there's a couple of things I'd like to do. Obviously there's a window missing here, this one's just rolled down. There's a couple of windows on the side here because they're sort of glued on, and that's assumably how they were from factory, so I've got to figure out how to get those back on without them falling off. I'd like to fix on these, sorry about the light, the sun has actually come out for once. Just got to, I don't know if I'll recover that or if I'll find a new wheel, but basically the early wheel is deteriorated at the top and bottom, just where it covers the metal, so I'll sort that. The belts, I don't think they're original because it's got rear belts as well, which I don't think would have been standard on the factory car in '74, but I will keep them. Obviously they are an extra safety thing, even if this thing is a tiny little matchbox, but there we go. Another thing I'd like to do is change this gear stick. I have got a 126 fan one, which I'll show you very shortly. One thing that I have just done is fitted those floor mats that I mentioned. This driver's one needs cutting around the throttle pedal. They're left-hand drive mats, so as you can see, well, hopefully you can see there is a cutout in the left one, because obviously it would have a cutout on the left side on a left-hand drive car. So I've got to make my own at some point, which I will do. Needs a bit of a clean in the back of here, but I am going to leave the rear carpets exposed, and the seat just fell back on me. It needs a bit of a clean back here, but the floor mats don't fit as well here, so as I say, I'm leaving these carpets out. It is an interesting design on these early cars as well, the interesting pattern you get on the carpet there. So now we're going to come out and look in the front. So there are a few goodies in the front here. The first of which is a Christmas present that I got from Georgina. These are Fiat 124 mud flaps, although they are pretty much the same as the 126 one's Bonnet mounts. And I do want to fit these to this car. And obviously this is just a rough idea of what it will look like. But once I've cut the mounts down and everything and got it to fit, it will look roughly like that. And if anyone's seen Chris Hutton's car before he resprayed it, or I believe there's a green Series 1 with similar mud flaps, you can see a 126 with those mud flaps on, and they do look, well, that's what I think so anyway. So yeah, just in this box here we've got a few more goodies, including some FSM mud flaps, which obviously wouldn't go on this car. I bought them for the white one. I mean, they would fit, but this isn't an FSM car, being an early Series 1, so I'm not sure what to do with those yet, but they will not be fitted on here. I'm just going to have a sift through the rest of the stuff now and see if there's anything else interesting to show you. So there's some fuel line, which obviously we can use for that piece under the engine bit. We've got a set of HT leads, which we can use as well. We've got a fan belt. This, in fairness, I will see if it fits. It does say 126p on it, but it's a cup holder that fits in the central piece in the middle. A couple of air filters, which obviously I will need one of anyway. There is this bonnet, sort of, I say bonnet, it's the boot latch, but obviously it's the engine lid, and it holds it open so that when you want a bit more cooling, you have that. And then I've got a Fiat 126 badge, which is from a slightly later car. I've got these caps, which in fairness I'll probably need for the blue ones, so I might take those back home with me, because this car has them on at the moment. I've got some clear indicator lenses, although I think I'm going to leave them orange on this car. I was going to change them on the white one, so I sort of bought everything for the white one in mind, which I no longer have. I've got some exhaust gaskets there and a couple of key rings, which I'll put on the keys when I bring them with me, because I forgot to bring them with me this time, which is another reason why I can't do a will at start. Well done me. I've got a couple of mirrors here. These are like original-ish chrome style ones, which sort of bolt onto the doors. You can see they sort of mount here, 2 screws, and then they've got this nice chrome effect design, which are nicer than the ones that are on the engine lid, which I am, sorry, the engine lid, the front lid, which I am going to remove because I do not like those ones so much. I think there's a condenser in there and possibly, so that might be a gasket rebuild kit for the carburetor, which would be ideal. That is an O-ring for the oil filter unit, I believe. Those are mounts for the FSM mud flaps, which may come in handy for my Fiat 126 mud flaps. Obviously, there's only rear ones that I have, but they may come in handy for that. This is the lollipop stick mount. I can't remember what this mounts now. I think it might be the gearbox, or if it's, I'm not sure if it's an engine mount or gearbox mount, but someone will correct me. These here are mounts for the chrome bumpers, which obviously I was going to use when I converted my white one to chrome bumpers. This one already has them, so that's fine. So I do have new chrome bumpers. I'm not sure whether to swap the bumpers on the car or just use the originals, but we shall see. This is a new oil cap, which I will put on as well. This is the 126 fan gear stick knob. So I recommend anyone to 126 fan Slovakia. He is very helpful, sent me most of these parts in here. Got a couple others from other places in Poland as well. That is a spare, this is an engine lid latch, and this one is a keyed one. The other one on the car does not have a key, but then they didn't have them when they were series ones, so I'm unsure whether to change on that or not. And I do have these sport engine lid covers, which I'll quickly show you. I'm not sure really whether to do it to this one or not. I was going to do it to the white one. I'm unsure about how I feel about putting sport on this, but essentially it would go roughly there. Obviously, being series 1, this has got the extra covers there, so it might look a bit weird anyway, but I'm not sure whether to go for it or not. I could try it and see or not. Let me know what you guys think. Should I run with the sport covers on the rear engine lid, or should I leave it with nothing on? So here is the 3D printed 126 fan cup holder inserted into there, so that looks good. And this is the gear knob. I will fit that another time when I know that everything works. I personally never massively like these. These are the Desmo bonnet mirrors, which I've now removed. I've obviously got 2 holes in the bonnet now, which I'm going to have to do something with. I think putting a bung in it would probably look a bit too out of place still as well, so it probably need filling and painting at some point, but to be honest, I might just go with the bung method to start with and then go from there. I'll probably just pop these up for sale because I don't think I'm ever going to use them anyway, and I'd rather refit those nicer style double screw chrome mirrors that sort of you can actually see. So yeah, I think I'll be getting rid of those, and next up I'm going to pop out the battery so that we can either charge it up or get another one, so that when we come to start it, we have a fresh battery ready to go. That is the battery removed. Apparently it says it's low maintenance on it. I suppose it is if it just doesn't work. Obviously I know it wasn't going to after many years sat around, but I can either charge that or get another one. We'll give it a test at work and see what happens with that at some point. I would like to maybe coat in here at some point because there's a bit of surface rust, but it is actually really quite solid, unlike the white one, which had a bit of rust in there. Another thing I was just going to quickly show you is the oil cap. This is the old one, the original Oleo Fiat one. The seals are a bit tired. It's looking a bit flat here, but this is all sort of perishing up here. This is the new one. It's got a different sort of style seal there. It's not an original Fiat one, but it is a good aftermarket one, and the seal here has much more spring in its step, so we're going to fit that now. Nice and shiny. Now when Georgina asks if I'll ever get any work done on the 126, I can say yes, I fitted a shiny bit. Well, I was doing a quick comparison, and I reckon that this is slightly wider. So slightly wider, I think it's definitely wider than the current latch anyway. And this has got sort of like a rounded top to it, whereas this is all flat. It looks like the later ELs and stuff had sort of like a little bit more of a curve, and they had a little bit of a step on the piece of metal, which obviously that fitted into, whereas it wouldn't on this. So I believe we're going to leave this aside and keep this one. So that's that bit sorted anyway. And for those wondering how this bit works, it clips into the latch there, and then I believe you take the, I think it's the bottom bolt out, and then you sort of screw it into there, and then it holds it at that open position to allow for more air cooling. Okay, so I'm running a bit short for time. I've now put everything back to where it should be. I say that, you may remember there were loads and loads of parts down here before, and now there's not. There's also the original 126 mats now. I've got these square ones out here, just because I've got the nice shaped ones in there now. All the Skoda parts are all piled up in the corner. There's a few up there, a few in the boxes up here. Microwave and toaster up on the shelf out of the way. A few wheels under here out of the way. I've got some Punto GT alloys outside that I'm going to list up for sale. I've got 3 of them, but I'm going to be using the Lancia Beta wheels on this. I'm going to have 2 painted red, and then I'm going to have a little red stripe, and this will go with Jurassic Panda, which obviously over there. The beige and red was sort of like the Jeep colour scheme for Jurassic Park, so that is the plan for the trailer anyway. When I eventually get around to it, obviously this is in the way at the moment, so this is being worked on first. Everything that needs to go on the 126 is now inside of it, back here, under there and there. Obviously I need to get a few more bits for that anyway and sort the battery out, and other 126 parts that I'm probably not going to use are in the front at the moment. So that is that. We've got a bit more space down here. I want to clear out this area soon, get rid of that, so that I can probably make this sort of like a Wartburg parts area, because I've still got some more parts to pick up from the 2 we've got in the barn in Aberdare. So that is the next plan anyway. Stay tuned to the channel and you'll see plenty more on the 126 soon. I know we didn't get it started or even work on that today, but we know where we need to go, so that is obviously a very good start. Stay tuned to the channel and you'll see plenty more on this soon. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, let us know your thoughts, and we'll see you in the next one.